Hey, what's going on, everybody? I've been meaning to get this video up, but anyway, I just want to go over the 70-hour clock, and how you avoid ending up getting a 34-hour reset while you're out here on the road, especially whenever you don't want it. So, first, I'm gonna show y'all a few pictures and screenshots of what my clock looks like right now, and then we're gonna go over what you need to do and the process. Okay guys, first, sorry about the glare, but alright, so if you're looking at your clock, you have your driving time, your on-duty time, which is going to be your driving time plus any on-duty, and then in 8 days, how many hours that have been used. Okay, so this is an 8-day period. You can't go over 70 hours of on-duty time, so it's going to be the time right here, added together. Can't be over 70 hours, because at 70 hours you have to do a 34 reset. Now tonight at midnight I don't gain anything back. The next day I only gain 3 minutes, but then from there you're going to start gaining time back. Now I've had some short days the way the loads have fallen this first week, but basically you're going to want to average about 8.5-9 hours a day for your on-duty time. Now you got to do a 15-minute pre-trip, and then you'll start driving. But this is why it's really important that anytime when you're stopped, you're going to want to go off-duty unless you're fueling, doing your pre-trip, for about 40 minutes of unload time. But after that, go off-duty so that you save this time right here. Because as you can see, I'm at 41 hours, so I have about, I think I have about 28 hours left on my 78 clock, or on my 70 clock for the 8 days. And I don't start gaining time back for 3 midnights. So tonight I won't gain nothing. I have about 8 hours left today, and then over the next 2 days, I just have to start watching my clock, make sure I don't go over, and then each day you'll get this time back, so it'll add to your clock. Now these were some longer days. You want to try and avoid that, but if not, then you just make up for it with the rest of your days. So yeah, so basically you are going to want to try and do about 8.5 hours of driving, because then whenever you add that 15 minutes for doing your pre-trip, you're going to be at 8:45. If you have to stop and get fuel, that's going to be about 15 minutes of on-duty time. So, and you really got to watch that, because before, whenever I first started, your 15 minutes, started showing on the 8 hours right at the beginning, but now it doesn't go towards your drive time, but you do have to remember that just because it says you've only driven for 8.5 hours, you've actually been on the clock all your on-duty time. So you just want to make sure and keep an eye on that. 8.5-9 hours. I try and leave about an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes left on the drive clock. So at about the 2-hour mark, you're going to want to start to get pulled over to wherever, safe place is, whether it be a rest area, truck stop, some kind of truck parking. If your shipper or receiver lets you do overnight parking, then, maybe go ahead and catch your break there. And just you got to manage the time to the best of your ability. Now, if you have a short day one day, you know that you can push it a little bit longer the next, and vice versa. If you have a long day, then you know that the next day you're going to need to try and shorten that down, or after you get that load out from underneath you, you're going to need to do a little bit less on your drive time. Now, personal conveyance and your off-duty time is not going to count against you, so you can't go to a shipper, to a receiver, you can't go towards your home base on the personal conveyance. But if you are the shipper that won't let you stay there overnight, and you need to get somewhere, you can do personal conveyance to get to a safe spot. Now you have to stop at the first spot available, but you just want to make sure that you're taking care of all that, watching your clock, because the last thing you want to do is be stuck out here for 34 hours and not be able to move the truck at all. I haven't had an issue where I had to do a 34-hour reset. I've had a time whenever I was in training where I ended up getting a 34-hour reset, but that was just because of waiting on a load, and then the way that everything worked out, my trainer ended up driving like 2 shifts in a row. But as far as going solo, I know people that go on what they call recaps, which is just what you recapture every night, and they just keep on running. So just keep an eye on your clock, and if you have any questions, leave it down below. If you haven't already, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and till next time, keep safe and keep trucking.